Is it over?
At long last. No king rules forever, my son.
I see. Only darkness before me.
Grab the mic, make the real get me lost. Drop it.
Hey guys, if you're looking for a build that is super solid in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons, at least for my testing, and that's a little bit outside the usual for what's going on in the meta right now, then I think this video will pique your interest. So I've been doing a lot of testing. Obviously, I haven't been playing Forge Hammers. Unfortunately, they're not really in a good place right now in Corrupted Dungeon, because they get absolutely annihilated by the regular bow. So I've been forced to come up with a new, completely off meta because I refuse to play, regular fire staff, regular bow, dual swords. I'm just like,
Miss me with that.
I don't want to play that, right? We had the one-handed mace, super power meta.
You made a lot of promises to the macho man, didn't you? Promises that you didn't keep. I remember one specific one, yeah. You promised the meta would never be in a dangerous position. You broke that promise, didn't you? Yankees!
We had the super heavy dual sword meta that was pretty recently, where just about everyone was playing that. We've had a lot of actually small metas where SBI has, fixed the game, released some an actual fix so that, stuff like the longbow being super meta, Great Frost was super meta for 2 weeks. But for some weapons, they like to just keep them in the meta for a long time. And this is, a little bit of a spicy one, a little different. Even though these weapons are considered to be meta, this build is not super meta, at least not yet. But I do reckon that this will actually become quite popular very soon, once people actually realize how good it is. And this might be the video to do that. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you guys the build. Right, so we're in game here, and looking at my character sheet, we can see that I have a Great Frost staff equipped, okay? So this has been meta in the past. Frost staffs are generally kind of in the meta, right? But this is different because of one thing. Okay, you're going to go to the Great Frost staff, you're going to look at the abilities. I have Frostbite, I have Frost Lance on the W, and I have Hail on the E, okay? Obviously, you're going to have Hail on the E if you have a Great Frost staff. You're pretty much always going to take the Furious passive for reasons, as long as you're using Frostbite or Frozen Surge. Really, the only obvious option is to use Furious. Yeah, the reason why this, I think, is getting slept on is because Frost Lance has not been super good for a long time since they reworked Frost staffs and added this ability in. It really was underwhelming, not super good, but now, let me tell you, it's amazing. Okay, it's definitely changing the build a lot. So after they I got back into playing Corrupted Dungeons and seeing what was going on with that, I didn't really want to play Forge Hammers because I know I'd just be pretty much inflicting harm on myself. Would be very bad. like literally just losing on purpose. I want to look for a new weapon, and I always thought the frost staffs were fun. The great frost staff is actually the first weapon that I kind of spec'd up in Albion when I started a number of years ago after watching a Lupac video. It was a long time ago. Pretty much everyone who runs Froststaff runs Frost Nova, because SPI sort of doesn't like seem to understand this for some reason or something, but like mobility is super king. Mobility is the most important thing that you can have in Albion Online. I mean, they do understand it, but it's so valuable, it's insane. And like honestly, second to that is iframes. Like iframes are super good, and we're talking 1v1 combat here, so don't like for ZVZs and stuff, you know, who cares. But for 1v1s and open world, you know, mobility is king, and Frost Nova is what is used like 98% of the time. And before, you know, they changed this ability right here, Frost Lance, you know, 99.9% of the time. The only people who are using other abilities are going to be like hardcore expedition players or PvE players in general that usually use Frost Bomb, but even those people I think are wrong right now, because Frost Lance is better in almost every conceivable way. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, what did they actually change with the Frost Lance ability that makes it viable? And I'm on the NDA balance playtest, or NDA patch notes, as most people refer to them as, where this update came along with the Nightfall Abbey patch, I believe. And if we scroll down here to the Frost Staffs, right here, Frost Lance had a cast time of 0.35 seconds and is down to 0 seconds. That's it. That's literally all they did. I mean, removing stand time and cast times from abilities is massive. Like it's like, don't underestimate that. If they removed stand time from stuff, first of all, like the world would be a better place. There would be peace on Earth. But like having stand time makes a world of difference. Having no stand time is amazing. Okay, Frostlance having no stand time, it's really good, and that's the change. Like it came out, I think, mid-April or whenever Nightfall came out. I guess it was early May, and it's amazing. Like it's amazing. I went into playing Frost Staffs thinking that I was going to use Frost Nova most of the time, and I wanted to try Frostlance, and I did try Frostlance on some you know, very range heavy builds, such as when I'm fighting like fire staffs with fire artillery, that sort of thing. But I've just come to realize, bro, Frostlance is the best. Like Frostlance shines over Frost Nova 9 times out of 10. Actually, it actually does. And I know you're having a hard time believing me right now. And this might not be true in something like a stock or a Slayer Corrupted dungeon, but I do want to remind you guys. I can bring up my murder ledger here. Yeah, this is my murder ledger, 864 in 1v1 stalker, and this is, you know, I have been top, you know, I think I've been like top 50 or something when I was playing 4H Hammers. I am quite versed in stalkers. I've played a lot of stalker corrupted dungeons. I don't want to say I know what I'm talking about, but I kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm not just like some idiot. But yeah, as you can see, this build kind of slapping. So I have tried some different variations of the build. As you can see, Hoarfrost Staff was one that I was trying out actually quite a bit. And that's going to be, you know, you're going to be wondering why the fuck you playing Hoarfrost Staff, bro. And Hoarfrost Staff is also being slept on, because with this build, you can essentially zone people out with the Hoarfrost Staff E, whereas, you know, with the regular Frost Staff, you use your E and you can root people and that sort of thing. But if you shoot the E from a Hoarfrost Staff across like a corner, right, where you're going to be zoning someone off, because obviously they don't want to get hit by your E, that's going to let you essentially spam them down even more. All right, obviously I lost to a regular bow flat 4, so don't yeah, that's not very good. But I mean, I got some good victories here. I lost to fucking Fuckturka here, who got me into some mobs, and it was very sad. But I did try quite a lot with the Hoarfrost Staff. So as you can see, I'm doing very good with the Great Frost Staff. And I'm going to explain why exactly I'm playing the Great Frost Staff and why I think It's probably the best option for this, although I haven't tested everything and there is definitely more that I need to test. Alright, so the reason why you want to play Great Frost Staff is because when you're playing with Frostlance instead of Frost Nova, it's sort of a similar playstyle to regular Frost. And if you are unaware or haven't played Frost before, essentially what you're looking to do is to kite people. That means essentially hitting them with this Q ability. When they get close to you, use your Frost Nova, back off, try to not get hit so much. Then once you have like a favorable trade, that's when you start pushing your advantage and potentially get a kill, right? And I will say that using Frost Nova, you do have a higher chance of actually, finishing a fight off, and that's great. But with Frost Lance, like it's harder to lose. Okay, so that's sort of a plus side. Playing with Frost Lance instead of Frost Nova, yes, you are still kiting, and I can kind of show you guys without showing you guys. Like, I'm gonna have some gameplay footage, but essentially using this W, if you press W, you'll get this skill shot right here. So you have this ring that you can start the cast in, and then you have a arrow shooting out. Okay, this allows you to hit people that are obscenely far away, like off the screen. I don't play in widescreen just because it gives me a headache. So bear that in mind. If you do play widescreen, you can get even more use out of this. It's kind of hard to show you right here, but let's say I wanted to hit this mage guy, right? Alright, so he's pretty much completely off the screen right now for me. Look at that. That's still gonna hit him. That's gonna hit that guy. It hits super far away. I'll show you some clips of times where I hit super far away targets with this. And essentially what you're gonna do is just spam your Qs. And honestly, you're not even gonna spam your Qs that much. You're gonna spam your W and just run away. Use your W, run away. Once you've hit someone with 2 or maybe even 3 Ws, depending on how tanky they are, if they're using a taproot, for example, that's when you can push your advantage, okay? And you push your advantage by rejuvenating sprint, running at them using your W. And the reason why we're playing Great Frost Staff is because with Hail, the E ability here, you can combo someone like crazy. Like, this shit is nuts. Imagine this, right? You're in a corrupted dungeon, like, pretty much I can shoot you from off the screen, okay? If you start to run at me, I just pop my boots. All right, I'm also using a 7.2 pork omelet, which costs around 50k on Albion West, and it gives you 16.5% cooldown reduction, which is really strong. For reference, if you use a mist collar and a 7.1 omelet, you'll have about 19 to 20% cooldown reduction, because there are diminishing returns on cooldown reduction. So with that being said, you have a really short time on your rejuvenating sprint, and you can use that to your advantage. Okay, so let's say someone is playing something like a sword, okay, like dual swords. If they have mercenary jacket, you're going to want to swap to the assassin jacket ambush, okay? This is pretty obvious, because you're going to be able to avoid their damage, their healing from mercenary jacket. That's sort of the way I look at it. If you're going to fight someone that is more artillery based, let's say regular bow of Badon, fire staff, just use both reflects, because you're essentially going to be able to kill them just with that. All right, let's go back to imagining here. So imagine you're in a corrupted dungeon fight, and someone's just using the W on you, and every time you run at them, they just boots away. Okay, what the hell are you going to do in that situation? Unless you're playing swords, there isn't really anything you can do. Unless you have something with like a massive gap close, so there's not really anything you can do. Something like a double-bladed staff, which I did actually fight, and it was kind of scary. But that, again, that's why Great Frost comes in, because you can combo someone out. Okay, so essentially what's going to happen is if someone actually gets to you, because you're not zoning correctly, because you're not kiting correctly, and I mean for other reasons too, like people will eventually get to you, right? You're going to Q, W, Q, E, Q, E. And it's fucking over. And that combo does so much damage, it's insane. And, you know, if they get close to you and they survive that, they're not going to want to get close to you again. And this is like, you have to hit your Qs. It's not like super easy. You have to kind of exert some sort of brain power to actually hit the Qs, especially against someone like regular Bo, who's just gonna be jumping around like a fucking frog for like the whole fight, right? It is not the, I guess, easiest build to play, but it's super good. Again, Q, W, Q, E, Q, E, and then you follow it up with another Q, and now your W is already like almost up again. Also in chase situations, because this has a 0 cast time, 0-second cast time, and like a 0-second stand time as well. Let's say that I'm running here and I can hit this guy like that. Boom. See that? See that? It's like 0 stand time, 0 cast time. It just stops you moving, so you just have to click again. But again, like, boom. You see that? You can keep damage up without slowing yourself down at all. And this is crazy damage. Like, this is better. Like, you out damage Regi bows if you're actually hitting them, which is nuts. Like, almost nothing can say that, right? Either way, that's enough rambling for me. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys clips of me actually in fights with this build for the rest of the video. Watch that if you'd like. Stick around, yeah. I'm also gonna leave links to my Discord channel, where I'm gonna be doing giveaways, that sort of thing in the future, and a great place to hang out. If you have questions about the build or anything else on the channel, go ahead and join that and you can ask me there. I'll have a link to my Twitch channel, just in case I do stream. And yeah, that's just about it.
We don't belong making ladders out of cowboy sheets. We will be gone while we're counting stars, they're counting sheep. Peter, all the rest don't make a sound. Just keep running and keep running and keep running. In our heads we're 10 feet off the ground. Just keep running and keep running, keep running, keep running. That's
On one closing note before I go, I'm not 110% sure that Great Frost Staff is the best staff to use here. So there might be someone who comes and says that it's the wrong ability. And I do want to mention that it is possible to do more of a one-shot build with this, which someone did kind of use on me, but I don't think that it was that good. Okay, so someone did try to do a sort of one-shot version of this build on me using a permafrost, actually, and it was kind of effective. But I do want to, you know, kind of leave you guys with this build right here, and maybe if you guys if this video gets a warm reception, I'll make another video going over this variant of the build as well and try it out for myself. But essentially what you're going to do is use Chill Howl, because I think it's just in general going to be better than the permafrost. You're going to use Scholar Robe and Morgana Cape. Again, you're going to be blasting people down with Frost Lance from a distance, okay? They're going to, what's going to happen is that they're either going to get hit by like 1 or 2 Frost Lances, and then they're going to realize, okay, I need to engage right now or else I'm going to lose the fight or lose this engage and back off anyway. Or they're going to back off after getting hit by 2. They're going to, you know, pop their sprint, whatever. And in that case, you might be able to hit them with the Glacial Prison, which is the E ability here. And if you do hit them with this, then you can follow it up by a Royal Helmet, okay, using these abilities right here. This is just a stun in a small AoE, super easy to hit when you use Glacial Prison. This is a one-shot build that's made by someone else, by the way. I'll try to figure out who it is and link their channel in the description. I think it was like a Twitch streamer. I think, I don't know, it's not like a super unique build, but it works out. Yeah, either way, once you use your E, you're gonna get a massive spell cast time reduction from the Morgana Cape. You're gonna pop your Scholar Robe as well. Then once they're kind of out of the freeze from your E, you're gonna hit them with a stun. You're gonna have massive fucking damage per second, like unbelievable damage per second. They're not gonna be able to survive anything, like at all. Like they're probably gonna die before the Royal Helmet even ends, especially if you've hit them with like 1 or 2 Frost Lances. But yeah, like this version of the build could be super nasty, and I am interested in trying it out. So maybe I'll just make a video on that anyway. But either way, this is, you know, the Great Frost Staff version of this build. I think it's super solid just because of the combo that I mentioned earlier. Obviously, it is susceptible to getting Hunter Hooded, which the other build is as well, the one-shot build. Could just die from Hunter Hood, right? But yeah, I mean, this shit fucking good, dude. You know, if someone has Hunter Hood, you can just wait them out. Like, you can just wait out the Hunter Hood, because it's super telegraphed when someone is going to use their Hunter Hood. You basically just hit them with the W, and they'll activate the Hunter Hood. 9 times out of 10, they'll do that. You can use 1E, alright, to activate the Hunter Hood. Okay, just keep kiting them. Alright, your E is on a 10-second cooldown, pretty much. So who cares? It's on a 10-second cooldown when you have a cooldown reduction from your Pork Omelet, by the way. So if they use Hunter Hood, just wait them out, because they're not going to be able to outdamage you, or at least kill you in that amount of time, and you can make up for lost time afterwards with this nutty combo. I'll do it one more time. Boom, 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 bam, 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 boom, boom, boom. Yeah, insane, right? And you can activate your own Hunter Hood. That's kind of the reason for having Hunter Hood, and reflect for yourself. Okay, this is like way too long now. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. Peace out. Okay, bye-bye.